All right, welcome back to another Through the Omenpaths Pick 2 draft. Hot off the heels of a pretty successful qualifier weekend. I won't give any spoilers in case you want to go back and watch that. But what I'll say is I played a lot of matches of this format, and it has been quite a long time since I've played that many of matches of Magic in a row, or like more than 10 years past my days of going to Grand Prix and such, so it was a lot. I was tired, but anyway, so our first pack here is nothing terribly exciting. Bellion's like the kind of card that I thought I would like a lot more than I do. There's just not a ton to do on your opponent's turn, and even at best it's like a 3/3 for 2. I mean, you know, and it's only a 3/3 for 2 sometimes. Zan is very, very good. I'm between Ancestral Carvings and Leyline Weaver as my second card. Carvings can definitely be good, but I don't always play it, whereas Leyline Weaver I think is very, very strong common. Robotics Mastery is good, and I could see an argument for Bellion Robotics Mastery as being your 2 cards. I do also like blue just because maybe you have some more options, like blue-black and blue-white are both viable, whereas with green you're kind of hoping to play green-white, and that's it. So with this pick, Hide and Mundanity would have been our pick had we taken the blue cards. We could have taken Hide and Mundanity in the Mana War, but we didn't, so we can't. There's a Supportive Parents that'll go ahead and snatch up, and then I think it's Scorpion Sting. Cruel Caracals is fine. And like Suburban Sanctuary, since green-white is kind of... Well, actually, I just noticed the City Pigeon. I didn't see the City Pigeon at first, so actually that's way better than the Scorpion Sting. So never mind. This will move us into green-white, you know, the best archetype in the format. Zan pairs well with City Pigeon and with Supportive Parents, just having a way to tap creatures without attacking 2 in web. So we have another Supportive Parents, the Cruel Caracals, which is fine, the Chariot, which is fine, Opulent Valet, which is fine. I kind of thought of Opulent Valet as being as an in-web payoff, but it just doesn't really get there. Like if you make an extra 1/1, so I'm considering taking the Campus in case we want to splash a blue card, or taking a blue card that we might want to splash. I think I would rather just speculate on the Campus this early. Damning Caress also an option as a card you might want to splash. Excuse me, sorry, but I think I'd rather just speculate on the Campus this early, and then if we get some sort of bomb blue card, or maybe the double-faced white, green, blue flippy guy, I think that's the one that makes a 2/1 when it comes in and then turns into a 4/4 Vigilance, I think. This pack, I think we take the Chariot and I guess the Saddle. There's some consideration of maybe taking Sinister Hideout just in case we end up splashing blue and black, which is not like that crazy. If you're playing a green base and you have Zan, you can just kind of play soup. Like here, I'm thinking of maybe taking the Burst and the Mansion. Yeah. Feels like we kind of got cut on green-white this first pack, which is not surprising. But not... The only other thing we could have gone into was blue instead, and I'm reasonably happy with our start. The Chariot last pick there is pretty nice. Okay, so I see a Splicer, a third Supportive Parents, Favored Fighters, okay. So we didn't pick up a black, white, or black... Or, well, no, I guess we couldn't have. Never mind. We almost picked up the blue-black duel. That's the one we passed on. But I think I take the Splicer and the Skivix here. Yeah. This is, like, kind of a wonky start, right? The City Pigeon... Like, our white's not even that good at this point. I mean, frankly, none of our colors can weave a Zan. That's like the only card I'm really excited about. But these 2 cards are just so much better. I don't want a third Supportive Parents. Favored Fighter's fine. I don't really want to first pick that. So I'm going to take those 2 cards, speculate on those, and see where this goes. Again, kind of aiming towards some sort of green-based Uh, 4 or 5 color splash here. Terrific Team Up is a card I'm happy to take. And then it's like Lurking Lizards? Maybe? You know, this deck is kind of shaping up to maybe have a decent amount of CMC4 or greater, so yeah, alright, we'll take the Lizards. Rouse the Swarm, so that's a card I'm happy to see. And then Tactics or Darvel. So we shouldn't forget where we started, right? We have a City Pigeon. So we do have a little bit of in-web payoff, and you know, you go turn 1 City Pigeon, turn 2 and web it, and play it again with Darvel is nice. But it's looking like we're not going to be white focused enough to reliably go like plains. And Spectacular Tactics is just a better card. So I think I'm going to take that and Rouse the Swarm. I mean, at this point, white might even be a splash, and we're like, I don't know, green, red, splash white. I say that, and then we have Principled Referee and Basil? Probably Basil. Where is it? Yeah. There we go, Basil. I should probably know that. So yeah, I think I take that over Tree Trolley. We still need more fixing. We have 2 supportive parents. Isn't that the dream? I could have a 3rd supportive parents, but Vibrant Cityscape's probably good. I don't want to play Infernus. I don't ever really want to play Steel Whip Surveyor. Aerialist also seems like a bit of a risk, so I'll take a 3rd supportive parents, I guess, and then the Cityscape I'm excited about. And we got another Chariot if we want it. Okay, we need some good cards in this last pack to sort of save this draft. Okay, so Janai and Hoppy is kind of back to our original goal, and then Zan. So we're looking at like a green base, green-white base, and then splash Kineas and Skivix, I guess. And we just get rid of the Deathflame Burst, probably. Yeah, alright. That... So we splash Margot as well. What do we have for Margot? We have the Saddle that we might play. And that's it? Well, that doesn't seem very good. Well, these packs have just kind of sucked. We splash the Hide Mundanity. We could take the Asylum to help us splash the Deathflame Burst. We could take Opulent Valet, because that's kind of okay to scoop up. We could run out of time and not even pick our second card. That was just so bad, you know? Didn't really know what to take there, and this is also so bad. So these packs, so obviously we're getting cut green-white, and that's kind of tends to happen in this format, and kind of identified that early on. But like, these packs aren't even that exciting if I wasn't in green-white. I mean, I guess blue was the color I was supposed to be, but I think even if you rewind and go back and draft a blue-black deck, blue-white deck, I guess blue-white is probably the best, but the blue-black deck that came out of this draft wouldn't be that good either, so all right. There's late Darvel, I guess. Sinister Hideout. I don't know. We don't even need the blue splash, right? Because Skivix, you can play off black mana, so we really just need the black splash. So we'll take the Pastry. I don't see myself playing a 3rd Opulent Valet or the Symbiosis. Should go back and read Symbiosis. I feel like that's one of those cards that like I never really you know, properly read. I just don't think is that good, right? It's 2 mana for +1/+1 menace, and you can get it back by discarding another card. Yeah, that's just not good. Okay, so the question is, do we splash the blue as well for Cavero? So it's a creature card in any graveyard. We don't have any mill action though. I mean, at worst it's a 4/4 for 4, right? But like, sometimes if you've killed their thing, then you get to make a copy of their best thing. Or if you have mill, good God, what a pile of cards this is. Okay, I didn't want the Rendezvous in there. So that means we don't need the Savage Mansion. We also don't need the Asylum. If we cut Cavero, then we don't need to splash the blue at all. All right, how do we win? How do we win with this deck? Boy, we really don't. So our best hope is to curve out with like Pigeon into Zan into stealing something with Kineas, and we're just beaten down with some 1/1s and 2/1s. All right. So Lizards, I think, have to stay. I think all of this top end has to stay. I think we do have to play blue and play Caverio because it's just, you know, this deck has no power behind it. This is so many 4s. We can probably cut the Valet. Our best cards are Skivix, Kineas, Zan, Caverio, I guess. We have a little bit of the, like, in-web aggro stuff going on with the Pigeon and Janai, but probably not enough. And then we don't need 3 Vine-Woven Chariots, right? So how are we on white sources? We've got 5, 6. That's a little bit rough when you want to turn one a Pigeon. But I think this is about as good as it gets. I gotta say, friends, I do not have very high hopes for this deck. And, you know, it's one of those drafts you kind of look back on and wonder if what you were supposed to be doing. And I think what I was supposed to be doing was playing blue something. But like I said, even if I did play blue, I don't think that deck was amazing. So this hand is fine. I don't have a green source. But we got Basil. We've got... Oh, there's our green source. I think I'll open on plains then. So we put this pastry out there, and we play the Lizards on turn 2. Okay. Darvel. I mean, in this case, we're just running Darvel out as a 3-mana 3/3. Alright. So they're Esper, and they're passing on turn 3. Alright, yep, we're just playing a Centaur. I'll show off my perfect mana and run out of an island on turn 4. Alright, so I'm immediately terrified. Remarkable readings. Wow, it couldn't have even been an equipment that I could have killed the bargain spinner so that they didn't get to do anything with. Okay, so if we team up, that's 4, 5, 6, 7 damage this turn, and we kill their only creature. And next turn they're going to make some 1/1s. All right. This is so weak. Teaming up on the bargain spinner here, but I think we put as much pressure as we possibly can on them, because so next turn if they tap out and they just make 3 1/1s, okay. Okay, they're gonna Damning Caress our dude. All right, so that undoes some of the pressure that we put on them. So if we play the Chariot, we can get a land and have mana up for Basil. That is the plan. Auto pay. What do we need? We don't really need anything. Let's take a look at what we want to draw. Kineas, I guess. Cavero, one of those. Anyway, land-wise, I guess we just take Forest. I'm not going to crack the Perfected Pastry. I'm going to leave up mana for Basil or Spectacular Tactics. So, if they just play a big thing and we can Basil, tap it, and then attack for 5, 6 if we crack the Perfected Pastry, that's kind of okay. They're not going to do that, though. They're going to cast Remarkable Readings. So, this is only a sorcery, right? So if we tap one of their dudes and then we put the 1/1 counter on Basil, then they don't have good blocks. Okay. Yeah, let's do everything. Tap that, untap that. That's like not very good Basil value, but I don't think we have the luxury of waiting, and we're drawing spectacular tactics, which is not spectacular at all. All right, let's put a counter on Basil. Hopefully we draw some gas here. They could have a tactics of their own. Supportive parents is okay. So the question is, do we trade the chariot for one of their 1/1s? I think the answer to that has got to be no. So let's just go ahead and get in with these dudes. Oh, do they have the 2 mana kill an attacking creature? Oh, bounce. So I just had I should have grabbed a plains with the chariot. I wasn't thinking. Okay, so we can run out the sportive parents and the lurking lizards. So yeah, I was just thinking it's kind of awkward that we didn't have mana to spectacular tactics if we needed to. All right, so we lost a counter on the lizards. What did they even shroud? The parents, I guess? Okay. Let's crew up in response. I mean, we only have to get... Oh, okay, 2 shrouds? Alright. We only have to punch through 9 more damage, and at this point, they just have 3 1/1s. So we can attack with the lizard, and then if they triple block, we spectacular tactics the lizard? And kill 2 of their 1/1s? I guess that's our best line at this point, right? Okay, they're not going to triple block. Alright, so we'll play the parents and say go. I mean, if they don't draw gas, they also have a surveil land. So they have a surveil land, and I mean, their remarkable readings isn't looking that good here. They really haven't had a ton going on themselves. Alright. There's another supportive parents. Okay, I guess we just attack with both. So, I don't think it's worth it to, like, play my other creature, crew up the chariot. Do they triple block or single block? Single block? Okay. Oh, they did triple block. Why did I think they single blocked? Wow, that looked like a single block. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, I'm fine with taking out their only champions, creatures, when they have remarkable readings in play, so... them getting to surveil here is a little rough when we're in this board state. Hopefully they just play a big thing, and I can kill it with tactics and then attack them to... I guess only attack them for 4. Another remarkable readings. Yikes. Okay. We've got 2 remarkable readings. Okay, Janai and Hoppy is a good draw. So the question is, do we play that and crew up the chariot? Because if we do that, then they don't have any good triple blocks. They didn't have a combat trick last turn, but if we play Janai and Hoppy, we can't spectacular tactics. Okay, so I'm just going to... Do they have something? They didn't have something last turn. Okay. I'm just gonna make the same attack. And if they triple block again, I think I just trade off the supportive parents again. Yeah, okay. So, I wonder how I was to know that it was... Oh, if I do this, I can see that they're triple blocking. Okay. I'll just let it happen. And then fortunately we drew some action. Now, I'm a little bothered by the fact that I can't keep up spectacular tactics, but we're, again, hoping for them to tap out for a big creature. Or not tap out, I mean they have a gazillion mana. Okay, they kept on top. If they just pass here... They just pass here, we're in okay shape. We might be able to squeeze out enough damage to win here. Okay. Okay. Alright, drawing our surveil land's kind of nice. So I think we crew up the chariot and we attack for 4. And then Janai and Hoppy is lethal in the air. And if they have something, with spectacular tactics, but they don't. Alright. Okay, aerialist. Do they have a way to modify it, is the question. Okay, so what can we do here? We can referee, and then if we put a counter on the lizards, then they can crew the chariot, and then we have 2 lethal threats. Or, I mean, it would be 2 lethal threats just attacking with the lizards. Excuse me, sorry. So, the biggest threat is they have a way to modify the aerialist, and then they block Janai and Hoppy with it. Oh, right, the lizards gets a counter anyway. Alright, in that case, I'm just going to do it this way. We have spectacular tactics to make 1 hexproof. Okay, we won. This pile of cards winning a single game, I will take as a success, and we're 1 game win away from getting promoted to Diamond and then not being able to backslide, so... Alright, I take it back. Hopefully we can win 1 more. Yeah, our opponent's deck wasn't terribly good either, at least from what we saw of it. You know, a couple Shrouds, Damning Caress, Serena, and 2 remarkable readings. Okay, opponent's deck was fine. It just... They just, was fine but dirtily. And they had to keep blocking with their tokens from the remarkable readings. I guess twice I traded off supportive parents for all 3 of their tokens when I could have spectacular tactics and kept my parents around, but... Okay, we're on the play with possibly our best hand, right? Turn 1 saddle, turn 2 Janai and Hoppy, and then turn 3 just equip it and attack for 4 in the air? Okay. Now, if our opponent just doesn't do anything... Our opponent just doesn't do anything, we're in okay shape. So red, that's step 1 to not doing anything in this format. Red, black, oh baby. Okay, so usually with red, black, you don't want to go all in like this, but yeah, I'm doing it. So they could just Death Flame Burst on their turn, which would have made playing the Chariot a better play, obviously. I mean, that's not the only removal spell they could have. There's plenty of removal that they could have for Janai and Hoppy now at this stage, but ooh. Huh. Okay, well, we're gonna get in for 4 again. Hopefully they don't have the Mayhem payoff. This is interesting. I don't know if I even want to get the land off the Chariot, right? Because I could just run out the land in the Chariot. Or run out the Lizard in the Chariot. The question is if it's worth it to, like, thin my deck. Probably not, right? We have plenty of land, and we have no other gas, so we're gonna decline that. The other argument is, like, the Lurking Lizards just aren't doing anything right now, so, like... Alright, presumably they have some sort of payoff? No, they're just discarding a land. Okay. Well, this doesn't look too great for them, but then again, I've dumped my hand on the table, and if they can deal with Janai and Hoppy, we are just in bad shape. Although I guess crewing up the Chariots, and then putting the saddle on it. Okay, so they did have removal for Janai and Hoppy. Okay, okay. Okay, so the fact that they did not have a Mayhem card and they just discarded land. So what I was thinking is I could crew up the Chariot, put the saddle on it, and then it would trade with Ruzik. But the fact that they just cost themselves a card last turn with the Ruzik means I think I just want it to stay in play. So I'm going to play the Supportive Parents. We'll make it a 5/5. Yeah, we'll make the Parents a 5/5, I suppose. Oh, wait. No, we won't, because it's 3 to equip. We're just going to pass. I'm not going to tap 2 creatures to do that. Okay, so let's hope they didn't draw a Mayhem spell. Ah, they did. Unfortunate. So I, like, intentionally did not give them the opportunity to block with the Ruzik and trade it off or something so that they would continue to have to discard. But they're still in a spot where if they didn't draw a Mayhem spell now, the Ruzik is just costing them a card a turn. Okay, so there's another mayhem spell. So that was the alternative, was that they had a mayhem spell. And here I am yapping. I probably should have crewed the cherry, but that's okay. I wasn't going to double block anyway. Yeah, so that was the alternative, that they had mayhem spells and they just wanted to keep their... They knew they were going to play Damning Caress anyway. Okay, so we can play Gororel. I can saddle up the chariot and probably just... Yeah, I'd probably just saddle up the chariot and attack. Saddle? Crew. Well, I guess I'm doing both things, right? Crewing and saddling? I didn't even play the saddle set, whatever that was. I know it was something recent. Oh, I don't even get my own joke. But that's okay. All right, here's hoping they're out of mayhem action. And so now they're just... Yep, okay, it was another lands, but if they don't double spell here, Ruzik will have... will discard their last card. Ooh, okay. Tathix was a good one to mill. Okay, so they're kind of going all in on Ruzik. That is not a spider, right? No. Rouse the Swarm is a good draw. Okay, so we put the saddle on Goro and attack. Right, and then we're probably chumping Ruzik. Yeah. Okay, and they have to discard their last card. They have infinite mana. Oh, it was another Tathix. Okay. So they're playing off the top. We have a reasonable card here in our hand with Rouse the Swarm. If we draw a land, then we can rouse and move. Is that legal? Okay. Well, I was chumping anyway, but now we have to chump, so... Okay. So the Lurking Lizards get a counter this turn. Okay, they're highlighting my stuff, so I guess they drew a removal spell, which is unfortunate. Yeah, okay. Alright, we are in big trouble. Okay, this makes this thing a spider, right? So that's going to be a 5/3. Which unfortunately is just not enough to trade with Ruzik, and we have to block that. It is enough to trade with the Leonin, though. So we can play Rouse the Swarm, I guess. And chump Ruzik. And trade with the Leonin. And then we're going to have to play Zan. Or do we attack? Or do we attack them down to 5? I guess we attack them down to 5, right? And then chump Ruzik, and they can only take us to 2? Yeah. So we hope they break their draw. Instead, they drew a divination. And then a lifelink creature. Okay. Well, that doesn't count as breaking their draw at all. Alright. So that didn't pay off, but I think that gave us the best chance of winning. And now we are cooked, as the kids say. So if we attack, they jump with the enforcers, and then they win on the crackback. All right, well, I'm just going to attack, play out Zan, hope they decide to play cautiously for some reason. Okay, yeah. That's reasonable. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. I didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I'm actually not dead. Wonderful. What do I need? I need a plains. Okay. Actually not dead yet. Excuse me, and Zan can trade with the Landon, and then we chump the Ruzik. Okay, we're dead. Yep. Alright, well. Their deck, as far as red-black goes, was fine. I think Yeah, I don't... Ruzik, what did they discard? They discarded 1 Mayhem card, the Spider. They discarded 2 lands, and they discarded a Tethix. I don't know. I don't know if that was worth it. I mean, it won them the game, so... in a sense, I guess it had to be worth it, but... Alright, on to round 3. Ta-da! Alright, so... we've got City Pigeon and Sand. This is, like, actually the best thing our deck could possibly do. And we drew a 2-drop, rather. Wow. Green-blue, huh? Interesting. So I will say, I don't know... And I mean, obviously, we've seen 3 cards of our opponent's deck, but this does not look like the makings of a great deck in this format to me. And I feel like not a lot of people are playing this format seriously, a lack of a better way to put it, at this point. I'm able to play green-white way more often than I would expect to be able to. I see a lot more of... excuse me, decks that are just not terribly synergistic. And I'm saying all this with like the worst pile of 40 cards you could possibly have in my hands right now. But just like the frequency with which I see these decks that are just like kind of don't make sense makes me feel like people are just not... so they discarded Chiswick, so they must be in the hunt for lands. I guess part of it is I'm not particularly highly ranked, and you know, again, to be clear, I'm not just like trash talking my opponent here. My deck is absolutely horrible. I guess maybe also part of it is the format. There's so few like good color combinations that sometimes you just kind of do the best you can with what you got. So plans for next turn. Oh, they had 2 plays. Oh, this thing. Okay, I don't know if this thing's any good. I've wanted to play it and I've wanted to make it work, and maybe that's what happened. Honestly, I could see opening this pack 1 and then just being like, fuck it, I'm gonna play Simic and try to make Drunith work. So if that's what happened, and if they make it work, I will be happy for them. Okay, so do we play the saddle up Goro and attack, or do we play supportive parents and the saddle and have no attack? Do we assume if we attack with Goro, they trade for Drunith anyway? It probably makes more sense to get more power on the board, right? Yeah. So I'm going to attack with Goro. They probably don't trade. And then we probably just get in for 2, and then we can play the parents. And we can play the saddle. And we can play the puff pastry. Is it that way? Yeah, it's probably that way, right? Yeah, sure. All right, so if nothing else, we'll have a 3/3 pigeon that we can start cracking in with. Let's see if they have a 1-drop. That's the other problem with Drunith. Like, there's not, so in green white especially. So white, or in green blue especially rather. White has City Pigeon. But what green blue 1-drops are there? I am at a loss. I'll have to look at the set, but not many. Archivist, that's a good card. Well, I got actually 0 value out of my saddle, which is unfortunate. Probably putting a counter on the pigeon. Yeah, I think I'm definitely putting a counter on the pigeon. Really, all we have going on right now is just attacking for 2 in the air. Drawing lands, which is unfortunate. If they attack, we will gladly do some sort of double blocking with Goro Rel. And then if If they kill us in some fashion, that's fine, because getting Gororel's 1/1s out there and just having 4 in the air, putting them on a 3-turn clock might be our best path to victory here. Serena only has flying on their turn. Let's see if they have something scary to get with it. They have nothing? Okay, so that doesn't seem too good. All right, yeah, so I'm going to double block like this. Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, I can't crack Gororel on their turn here, but... Oh, terrific team up. Interesting. I think I just hold that. Yeah, I think I just hold that. We're at 19 life, so we're not under a ton of pressure. I'm going to play Gororel here, and then terrific team up will take care of if they happen to play some sort of flying or reach creature. And then it will also allow us to attack for 6 down to 4. Never mind. At least we get a food token. These are tapped, right? Yeah, so we can't. Okay. Okay. Spectacular Tactics is a good draw. Is there any world now? I guess I could kill the Mob Lookout and then I can attack with Supportive Parents as well. And that still leaves up Spectacular Tactics. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we'll do this. It's there. And then we can attack with everybody. 6, 7 if they don't chump. And if they do chump, like our Supportive Parents is just a good attack on its own next turn. Okay, cool. So Spectacular Tactics to save something if they just try to kill something. We're going to eat our food and go back up to 19. Ugh. Well, that does have reach, okay. Oh, boo. That is not the thing I wanted them to give +2/+2 to. Well, why would they give it to Oris that turn? That would have been dumb. So I need to, like, tactics this Oris, right? Okay, Surveillance kind of good. I need to tactics this Oris so that we can keep attacking. But they're probably just going to keep giving Serena +2/+2. And we can only take 5 so many times. Excuse me, before we're dead. So, okay, is there ever a world where we just tactic Serena? We're gonna surveil on our upkeep. I think I take it once. I've kind of turned my hand face up at this point because I keep tanking. It's pretty obvious that that's what I have. Oh, man. Well, now I wish I had tactics Serena there. We get, like, max punished. Alright, we get to bin a land, at least. Alright, Janai and Hoppy. And I tap my mana like an idiot, so I can't play Janai and Hoppy and keep up Spectacular Tactics. Although we have Supportive Parents, I suppose. Alright. So what's the game plan here? This is rough. So we know they're not going to be able to get anything off Serena, which is good. Maybe they pump Boris now, since Serena can't attack this turn? But chances are they just turn one of these into a 4/3. And then killing that with Spectacular Tactics feels bad. Double blocking with Janai and Hoppy and a 1/1 feels bad. Trading with Supportive Parents feels bad. Ugh. Or they make this a 4/5. they make the clutter cluster 4/5, we kind of have to tactics. Jesus. Okay. Okay, I think we're just dead. These things reach. Horus reaches. Alright, so I made fun of my opponent's deck, but it was fine. It's just green-white's not, or green-blue is not a supported color pair in this format, but it's working out just fine for them. I can double block the clutter cluster, but I probably don't want to lose Janai and Hoppy, right? I don't really want to lose any of my flyers. I could kill one of those with spectacular tactics. I'm trying to think if there's any way we possibly win this game. We have a principled referee. I already used the terrific team up, right? Yeah, alright. I think we have to. That's just our best block. And we're just in trouble no matter what. I guess I clicked that stop too late. I don't know. It's fine though. Yeah, trying to think if there's any possible outs here, and there's really just not. I'm just gonna grab another planes here since oh, Kineas, that would be a reasonable draw. Alright. We hold out for one more turn, see if we draw that. I could have taken that opportunity to look through my deck as well. I'm just kind of being a little doomer at this point, I think. Okay, so we know they have Serena that they can't get anything with. 2 other cards. Put a stop here now just in case. That's really weird. I clicked that stop like while there were effects on the stack during their second main, and it didn't register in time for it to actually put the stop there. Maybe I should just hit full control if it's that important to me. If this game was a little bit closer, I might feel a little more invested, but I cannot help but feel like we do not stand a chance here. So that guy's trampled. So we pretty much have to tactics the King of the Cold-Blooded Curse. And trade off Zan for one of... Alright, let's see... Whoops, that was the wrong mode. Let's do this and see if they have a response first. Terrific team up. Drix interception. Okay. We're done here. Good games. All right. Yeah. So that went about how I expected it to. Unfortunately, that draft just was not it. I mean, this is just a stack. This is what, when you do a quick draft and there's 7 bots at the table and they're just grabbing random cards, this is what their deck looks like at the end. But again, I don't, the only way it could have turned out better was if we drafted blue, and even then I don't think our deck would have looked amazing. It would have been some sort of blue-white deck, I guess. But the white cards we have here definitely lean into green-white more than blue-white, so maybe there was some blue-black deck in there. I know we did pass like one of the whatever the 5 mana, get a discount if you have a villain removal spell is, but at any rate, better luck next time. I'll catch you in the next one.